Australia is celebrating 10 years since the canonization of its first saint. EWTN News Rome correspondent Colm Flynn spoke to the Australian ambassador to the Holy See to hear how St. Mary Mackillop can be an example for women in the church today.
Mary Mackillop fought the stereotype. She changed what was then the model for women in society, in the church, and she achieved a lot through that.
She is Australia's only saint, and today in Rome, Sister Mary Mackillop was remembered by the Australian Embassy to the Holy See in a special online event marking 10 years since her canonization.
It was an opportunity to reflect back on Mary Mackillop's life, her achievements, and draw lessons from that for women of the church today.
In Sydney, Australia, in the middle of the financial district, is the Mary Mackillop Museum, which is run by the Order of St. Joseph. Sister Monica Kavanagh is the congregational leader and tells us the story of Mary Mackillop, who was born in Melbourne in 1842.
She suffered from ill health at an early age, and she also had lots of losses, really, in the family.
Mary was drawn to religious life at a young age, but one didn't exist for women in Australia at the time. So, with the help of a local priest, Father Julian Woods, she founded the Sisters of St. Joseph of the Sacred Heart, with the intention of ministering to the needs of poor children. But after moving to Brisbane, she came up against opposition from the bishops.
While she was there, I guess the first troubles of the Institute began, and they're very complex issues, but the outcome of all of that was that it led to Mary's excommunication in 1871.
Mary wanted the religious order to have a superior and to be able to control their own affairs. However, the bishops objected and wanted the religious order to stay under their control. This power struggle caused a split in the group, and the stress started to take its toll on Mary's health.
This was obviously a very painful time for the sisters and for Mary, and one of the consequences really was that she suffered from a lot of ill health throughout her life.
However, it was on his deathbed that the bishop ordered the excommunication be lifted, and Sister Mary moved to Sydney and lived in this cottage, where she continued to grow the congregation, focused on establishing schools and orphanages for children in need. By 1891, there were over 300 sisters in the congregation, teaching across Australia and New Zealand. The sisters' education methods and ethos became the foundation and model for Catholic education in Australia. Sister Mary died in 1909, and 99 years later was made a saint by Pope Benedict XVI in 2010.
Mary Mackillop used to say, never see a need without doing something about it. And that was really what inspired her life. She went out of her way to work with those really on the margins of society. For me, what it shows is the role of these women, religious women, in addressing some of the most important needs of society today.
In Rome, Colm Flynn, EWTN News Nightly.